Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
Good afternoon, family. Hope you guys are doing amazing today, and welcome to another episode of the Africa Today Show. My name is Joby. To those who are here for the first time on all our YouTube channels, returning listeners on the radio stations, Spreaker, Spotify, Karibuni Sana. I hope I'm loud and clear, or I hope the voice that is outside is not competing with mine, but I hope you guys can hear me loud and clear. Karibuni Sana once again. This is the Black Hot Fire Network. And of course, we're going to be picking it up from where we left it last week as we look at what has been happening during the weekend, during the last 2 days of me not being here. But of course, we're going to be picking it up from there. Before we get started with the updates of what is happening in Iran, Israel, in America, how this is actually affecting the economy of America, literally how this might go or how it might not go to other countries. We're going to also be looking at Cuba, which you can see, if you've seen maybe majority of the video circulating online, Cuba is currently under total darkness. And I read something very interesting today on a video that I bumped into earlier, one among the videos of the current situation in Cuba. And then someone said that this is actually, I think, a testing ground of them seeing if the rest of the world is going to accept what they're doing to Cuba, because as much as it's all about the energy and all that, somebody said, and I feel like it's true because it goes back to so many conversations we've had before, back in 2023, 2022, of some of the things that they could do or how they test to see how the rest of the world is going to respond. So I don't know, but we're going to be looking at that. Before we get into it, kindly remember to get yourself this amazing organic supplements on the BHFN Sports page. And you can get that by downloading the app on the Google Play Store. But being on a Wednesday, we're going to start with some amazing historical video. Last week, we shared about some oxtail, where oxtail originated from and how this became a luxurious food in some of the hotels. But today we're not dwelling on food. We're going to be looking at how the Black Harlem hustled a white millionaire, rather the white millionaires. So karibuni sana, and hope you guys hit that like button, subscribe if it is your first time, and enjoy today's conversation. Keith should be joining us in a few, so we're looking forward to that.
History books teach us that the Harlem Renaissance was just a random explosion of Black expression and art. They make it sound like everyone held hands, played jazz, and white folks stood up and clapped. But that's a lie. The Harlem Renaissance was actually highly planned and heavily funded. We weren't just here to entertain the world. We proved that we could create art and took over the global culture. But like any good story, it destroyed itself from the inside. So join us today while we talk about how we built the Harlem Renaissance and took control of our image. This is One Mic Black History. I'm your host, Country Boy. If you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at OneMicHistory.com, and you can also find me on Substack. But without further ado, let's get started. If you've been following the channel, you already know the story of Philip A. Payton. We talked about how a black real estate agent took over empty white luxury buildings in early 1900. He turned white desperation against him, rented those buildings at a high price to black tenants, fought off a white real estate mob, and essentially evicted white folks from Harlem. But getting into the buildings was just the first step. Owning the physical block means nothing if you don't own your own story. Once we secured the real estate, we had to go to war for our image in the eyes of the country. See, by the early 1900s, the American establishment looked at black people as dangerous but highly profitable. In 1915, Woodrow Wilson screened The Birth of a Nation, The White House. It wasn't just a movie, it was the first blockbuster in American history. It praised the Ku Klux Klan. It pushed the old Negro stereotype to the world. This lie that black people were uneducated, less than human, and incapable of building a civilization. It wasn't just insulting, it was a weapon. If the government convinced the white public that black folks were less than human, they could easily justify Jim Crow, lynchings, and shutting them out of the American economy completely without guilt. But things were starting to change during the Red Summer.
Okay, let me reshare my screen again as we continue. Karibu Keith, how are you doing?
I'm good, Shelby. How are you doing?
I'm great. Can't complain. Can't complain at all. Just want to share a little bit of this history before we get into what is happening with Iran and all that. So kindly allow me. It started it, but I'm going to restart it again.
History books teach us that the Harlem Renaissance was just a random explosion of black expression and art. They make it sound like everyone held hands, played jazz, and white folks stood up and clapped. But that's a lie. The Harlem Renaissance was actually highly planned and heavily funded. We weren't just here to entertain the world. We proved that we could create art and took over the global culture. But like any good story, it destroyed itself from the inside. So join us today while we talk about how we built the Harlem Renaissance and took control of our image. This is For My Black History. I'm your host, Country Boy. If you like stories like this, you can find more stories like this at whatmikehistory.com. And you can also find me on Substack. But without further ado, let's get started. If you've been following the channel, you already know the story. Empty white luxury buildings in early 1900. He turned white desperation against him, rented those buildings at a high price to black tenants, fought off a white real estate mob, and essentially evicted white folks from Harlem. But getting into the buildings was just the first step. Owning the physical block means nothing if you don't own your own story. Once we secured the real estate, we had to go to war for our image in the eyes of the country. See, by the early 1900s, the American establishment looked at black people as dangerous but highly profitable. In 1915, Woodrow Wilson screened The Birth of a Nation, The White House. It wasn't just a movie, it was the first blockbuster in American history. It praised the Ku Klux Klan. It pushed the old Negro stereotype to the world. This lie that black people were uneducated, less than human, and incapable of building a civilization. It wasn't just insulting, it was a weapon. If the government convinced the white public that black folks were less than human, they could easily justify Jim Crow, lynchings, and shutting them out of the American economy completely without guilt. But things were starting to change during the Red Summer of 1919. Over 350,000 black soldiers returned from fighting in World War I. They had bled for democracy overseas, learned how to use weapons, and absolutely refused to accept white terrorism at home. When white mobs attacked black neighborhoods in over 36 cities, black veterans didn't turn the other cheek. They barricaded their street, they posted snipers on the roof, and they fired back. Jamaican-born poet Claude McKay captured this exact fighting spirit in his legendary poem, If We Must Die, writing that, like men, we will face the murderous, cowardly pack. Pressed against the wall, dying, we must fight back. The old Negro died in the streets of Chicago and Washington, D.C. We had this militant energy, but black leaders knew that the courtrooms and politicians were completely rigged against us. To change our image in the eyes of the world, we couldn't just use bullets. We needed a new weapon to destroy this stereotype from the inside out. That weapon was undeniable black genius. Enter Alan Locke and Charles S. Johnson. History would tell you that they're just scholars, but in reality, they were masterminds behind the Harlem Renaissance. Their strategy was very simple. They were going to use high culture, books, fine art, theater to force the white establishment to recognize black genius. In 1920, high art was the ultimate test for human civilization. If we could prove that we were equals on the canvas, the excuses of Jim Crow would fall apart. They would execute this plan March 21st, 1924, at the Civic Club dinner in Manhattan. Johnson invited the most powerful white publishers to New York, the heads of Harper and Brothers, Macmillan, the editor of the Survey Graphic magazine, pretending to celebrate a new book release by Jesse Fawcett. But it was a trap. Once the doors closed, the white publishers sat down to eat. Johnson and Locke unleashed a carefully chosen lineup of black literary genius. They trapped the white gatekeepers in a room and bombarded them with black excellence. The publishers were shocked by the talent. Paul Kellogg, the editor of the Survey Graphic, was so overwhelmed that he dedicated an entire upcoming issue exclusively to the black writers of Harlem. That single issue broke all of the magazine's sales records. Locke quickly expanded into the battle plan for the entire movement, a massive book that he called The New Negro. Writers like Zora Neale Thurston, Connie Cullen, Gene Toon, they were the new writers of a generation. Toon's book Kane bent the rules of what black literature could be. They wrote masterpieces that forced the white mainstream to swallow the unfiltered truth about black life.
Pause it for a
We
second.
put
Just
our
pause it. If you guys know some, Zora Neale Hurston wrote the masterpiece. Damn, I can't remember the book in my mind right now. The proof that showed that Egypt and Nubia was black. You know, I gotta look up whatever that book is called. I did in the show like about 10 years ago. I can't remember the name of the book right now, but I'll tell you later. Go ahead.
excellence on display and made the white literary world pay top dollar to read it. While writers were conquering the publishing house, musicians were quietly taking over the global economy. White city dwellers didn't just come to Harlem to read books, they flooded the district every single night to go slumming. Thousands of white tourists travel uptown to
Do me a
hear
favor, Joe. Do me a
brand
favor. Do me a
new
favor. Pause it again.
electrifying sound.
Pause it. Pause
Yes.
again. I gotta remember the name of that book. Say what was the say ask Google, say what was the African book that Zora Neale Hurston wrote? What's the name of that book? Great Ethiopian, something like that. Something about Ethiopian something. What was that African book that that Zora Neale Hurston wrote? Something about the Great Ethiopian, something like that. But I can't, no.
That's
What's it
Zora.
called?
Zora. Zora.
Yeah.
Zora.
So the lady this show, back up in video, Zoe Zoey Neale Hurston. Yeah, we're right there. It should show her name. They wrote it down there on it. They wrote her name on the screen.
Let me see. Zora.
Here
Okay,
you go.
Zora.
Here you go. Zoa, yeah. Zoa Neale Hurston. I can't believe something about the Great Ethiopian or some shit. I can't, but it's not good. Oh, I did a whole show on her damn book. Looking at my book,
The
the books
story.
that wrote.
There's the story of the last black cargo. Um, that was a non-fictional book based on her 1927, 1931 interviews. Okay, let me see.
I just said, just name all her books. Say all titles. Say all Zora Neale Hurston titles. They should pop up so I can remember it again. Something about the Great Ethiopians. Can't believe I can't remember this name of this book. Thanks, Jimmy J. Yeah, Zora Neale Hurston. I can't believe I can't remember the name of this book. This is cool.
Mm. Okay, we have the Jonas Round Vine that is in 1934. We have The Eyes Were Watching God, 1937. We have Moses, Man of the Mountain, Sarah, of syrup on the Suwani, if I'm pronouncing correctly. We have the life of Herod of the Great. We also have mules and men, telling my horse, every tongue got to confess. We have Go Gator and Muddy the water. We also have Dust, the non-fictional ones, and AC we have the Dust and the Road, Barkun, the story of the Dust, Cargo. We also have You Don't Know Us Negroes and other essays. And then we have the complete story and the color struck. I think those are some of the books that.
Don't worry, I'll find it. Let's start them when I find it later. Okay, thanks, sir.
Okay.
Cool.
Stay tuned. They were the new writers' books. They flooded the district every single night to go slumming. Thousands of white tourists travel uptown to hear brand new electrifying sound called jazz. Mob run clubs like the Cotton Club, an establishment that tried its best to keep Jim Crow alive. They enforced a strict white-only policy, forcing black customers out while black performers entertained the white elite. White mob bosses even forced musicians to play in front of a fake jungle backgrounds. They called it jungle music. They thought that they were keeping black folks in our place. But band leaders like Duke Ellington orchestrated a bit of a trap. Duke Ellington knew that the mobsters had deep pockets, so he used their money to fund and train a massive orchestra. He took that insulting jungle music and arranged it with complex precision. More importantly, though, in 1927, Duke Ellington negotiated a live nationwide radio broadcast, wire to wire, from the Cotton Club. He bypassed the racist bouncers entirely. He beamed black brilliance straight out of the club into the living rooms of millions of white households across the country, using more than 50 local radio stations coast to coast. Jazz was the rhythm of black power. By dominating the music industry, black creators dictated the global definition of what was cool. The money wasn't just staying with the white club owners. Underground, Harlem ran its own hidden economy. Black residents threw rent parties, charging white tourists, locals admissions for live piano music and bootleg liquor to keep their massive apartments funded. And musicians, just like Duke Ellington, would play at these parties. You couldn't convince the world that a group of people were inferior when the same people were actively writing the soundtrack of a global musical movement. While we were winning a cultural war, every revolution has a breaking point, and a bit of a civil war broke out over the master plan of the Harlem Renaissance. The conflict came down to one question: what are we making art for? Older leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois and the NAACP were pushing respectability politics. Du Bois openly stated that all black art must be strict propaganda to uplift black folks. He wanted to show the establishment that we could wear tailored suits and speak perfectly and act just like them. He wanted the art to be perfect and safe and easy for white liberals to swallow. But the younger generation, they hated this. Langston Hughes and Wallace Thurman and Aaron Douglas refused to play this respectability politics game. In 1926, they pulled together their own money to establish a bold, radical magazine.
Yeah, they called him a bootlick. They refused to be bootlicks. Go ahead, Joe.
Rich elites about polite tea parties. They weaponized the gritty, unfiltered truth of the Harlem streets. Fire featured stories about street hustlers and blues singers and sex workers. Wallace Thurman wrote a novel called The Black of the Berry and openly called out the hypocrisy of colorism within the black community itself. Langston Hughes dropped the ultimate statement, writing that younger artists would express their dark-skinned selves without fear or shame. If white folks liked it, great. If they didn't, that didn't matter.
And pause it. And understand it with us, that's why we're different than any other black group on the planet. We embraced our blackness, where everybody wants to be light and white and bright. The black Americans said, fuck that. We're black, we're Africans. That's why we're the only ethnic group that called ourselves black. And we're proud of it. Everybody, oh, I'm not black. I'm a Yoruba. I'm this. I'm this. They don't understand why we did this for racial identity against white oppression and white savagery. And everything white was supposed to be right, bright, right, and great. So we took that. So, that's why we've always been the main people to go against white oppression. God, why you guys call yourself black? What's the thing? Why you call yourself a tribe? Motherfucker, we create the tribe. The tribe is black. You have a problem with blackness. We don't. We've embraced our blackness. That's why it's called black culture. Not Yoruba, not Igbo, not black culture. That's what dominates the planet. Because we took our blackness, was never unapologetically black. Well, everybody, white people try to shame you for being what we are, black. But go ahead, Joby.
It's terrifying. They hated it. Du Bois despised the magazine. The mainstream black press literally wrote that fire should be tossed into a fireplace. But the younger generation did not care. They were building their own unfiltered reflection of black excellence, refusing to let white comfort dictate their reality. However, this war for respectability wasn't the biggest threat. The actual villain was funding. Revolutions require a massive amount of money. In the 1920s, major publishing houses and art galleries and grant foundations were completely controlled by white wealthy donors. If black artists wanted to mass produce their work in art, they needed white money. But that money came with a trap. White wealthy donors didn't want to fund modern intellectual art. They were obsessed with the idea that it was primitive. They wanted art that felt exotic, tribal, wild. Charlotte Osgood Mason was an incredibly wealthy donor who literally demanded that black artists call her godmother. She sat on a literal throne in Park Avenue apartment and put Langston Hughes on a $150 allowance. But the moment Hughes wrote about real working class struggles of black Americans instead of playing into her weird African drumbeat fantasies, she cut off the funding. Some artists changed their work to keep the lights on, but the true artistry was figuring out.
So the white lady wanted to be his benefactor when he wasn't talking about black people being in some damn jungle butt naked beating on drums. She said, "Oh hell no, nigga. No more money for you." She cut his ass off. When black people sophisticated, were smart, were educated. Nah, if you don't do the tribal thing, you'll become what I want. I had to cut your ass off.
Zora Neale secured a massive $200 a month contract from Mason. It was a staggering sum in 1920. That translates to almost $3,500 a month in pure cash to just travel and write. Mason demanded strict ownership over Thurston's work and wanted her to find primitive stories. Thurston played into this game flawlessly. She smiled, she cashed the massive checks, and used that donor's money to travel deep into the rural South and to the Caribbean. She used white folks' rules against them, documented authentic hoodoo and folklore before it could be erased. And later she wrote, "The eyes, they're watching God." She used the establishment's arrogance and deep pockets to fund her own black research. So what happened? Well, the stock market crashed in 1929 and the Great Depression hit.
Great Depression. Now, pause. Now, what you say now? What you know? The same people the same relatives of the motherfuckers that destroying the world now create that Great Depression globally. But you about to go through a worse depression now when the whole shit collapsed, right? Because we know Iran is fucking with the dollar, and we're talking about the global world, not a depression like our families went through 100 years ago. We talking about global collapse, even worse than this. Go ahead, Joby.
Publishing house contracts, they vanished, and the Harlem Renaissance lost its financial engine. Critics love to look back and say that the Harlem Renaissance failed because they relied too much on white approval and didn't actually solve any black issues. But that completely misses the point. The Harlem Renaissance proved that we couldn't wait for the system to validate us, that while fighting internal civil wars and dodging the traps of white money, these creators built their own table of black art, black music. They used this raw reality of black life and turned it into high art and made it the most valuable cultural product in America. They permanently broke this old Negro myth and replaced it with black cultural excellence that still has pop culture by the throat, even today. Thank you.
Yeah, great history, but sad to say that the same oppression still affects Black people till to date. I mean, in different ways.
Of course.
Creation, you try to create something of your own independently without accepting their own support. Problem, you know, it's a very, very big problem. But shout out to everyone with us on the chat. Shout out to UK Williams, Jabba. Hope you're doing amazing. Hope you guys are enjoying your lunch. I bet it's lunchtime for majority of you. I see Jiba and K Williams talking about lunch. And you had a question about if we have grilled cheese. Here we do. Grilled cheese sandwich. Yes, we do. Yes, we do have that in Kenya. And yeah, shout out to Ta. Yeah, and to those who are just joining right now. So as we get into the
grilled cheese sounds, yeah, but ain't you a little too old to be eating grilled cheese sandwiches?
Does it have an age limit? Shit.
I knew Joe was gonna say something.
Yeah. Does that have an age limit? Like, please, eat what you like. It's you know, the food pig, you know, you do your shit.
I knew you were gonna say something.
Do you? But as we get into the Iran, Israel, America whole issue, of course, I'm gonna start with a bunch of videos. So I've seen this first video, which is showing how Israelites are, the Israeli people, I mean, in general, the citizens are running away from the country because of the threats Iran has made, not just only to Israel, but also to America. And
I thought they were chosen people. I thought that was their land. Why are they running?
Let me show you what the media is hiding from you now, and I fucking love it.
Trying to get on a boat. They can't get on the airplane. The airport been blown up.
It's rather fitting they came on a boat, and now since the airport's here, they got to leave on boats. This is what Tel Aviv, Bet Shemesh, Arad, Dimona, this is what most of Israel is going to start looking like. The Israelis and they're scared shitless, and rightfully so. This is Iran executing asymmetrical warfare at its finest. So what do you think? Is this a trend that you guys expect to keep saying?
2 minutes ago, Iranian missiles hit Dimona again. The same facility. The same target that Iran struck days.
Shout out to my Chinese AI guy. I've confirmed it's an AI. So thank you.
You had to confirm. You couldn't tell that was an AI?
Nah, I told you I couldn't believe this was an AI. Like
what?
Days ago, while the Israeli government went silent about what was hit and what was damaged and what was released into the air above the Negev desert. The silence that followed the first Dimona strike has not ended. The damage assessment from the first strike has not been shared with the Israeli public. The communities surrounding Dimona have still not been told what the first strike did to the infrastructure inside that perimeter. And while that silence was still in place, while the government was still managing what to say and what not to say about the first strike, Iranian missiles hit Dimona a second time. This is not escalation in the conventional sense of the word. This is Iran telling Israel and the world that the first strike was not a one-time demonstration. It was the opening of a sustained campaign against the most sensitive nuclear infrastructure in the Middle East. And the second strike arriving while the damage from the first is still being hidden from the Israeli public is the most deliberate and most calculated signal Iran has sent in this entire conflict. It is saying, we know what we hit, we know what state it is in, we know more about what is happening inside that perimeter right now than the Israeli civilians living downwind of it. And we are hitting it, again. In the next few minutes, I will show you exactly what the second Dimona strike means, why the timing relative to the ongoing damage concealment from the first strike is not accidental, what the cumulative effect of two strikes on the same nuclear facility produces in terms of structural and radiological risk, and what a government that is now hiding the damage from two consecutive strikes on its nuclear infrastructure means for the millions of Israelis who have not been told what is burning inside Dimona right now. Before we get into it, thanks for watching. Your support is what keeps this going, and I genuinely appreciate every one of you here. Make sure you are subscribed and like the video so more people can follow this. Now let's get into it. To understand why the second Dimona strike is more significant than the first, you need to understand what the first
Let's
strike
get
left
into it,
behind,
Chinese
and
AI.
why the government's silence about that
Talking
damage
like,
is the
talking like,
context that makes
talking
everything
like you're
about this.
from the northeast part of the United States. Got a Chinese guy with a northeast accent of the United States.
Second strike
And Joby don't know how to AI.
on its own. The first Dimona strike produced a damage pattern that Israeli defense authorities assessed in real time.
Joby,
They know which structures
Joby
inside
ain't
the
never
perimeter
met no Chinese man that talk like him.
Man, I don't can't even, on the ground here. I can't even differentiate these people: Chinese, Japanese, Philippines, and all that. So I'm sorry for me not even being able to
Yeah,
understand this.
but you never heard him talk like this.
I don't pay attention, being honest. Shit.
Oh,
They know the operational status of each component of the facility following the first strike. They know whether the reactor infrastructure, the reprocessing facilities, or the weapons-related storage and assembly areas sustained direct hits or peripheral damage from the first salvo. They know what the current radiological status of the facility is. They know whether there are active containment concerns following the first strike that have not been resolved. And they have chosen not to share any of that information with the Israeli public, with the communities in the surrounding region, or with the international community that has a legitimate interest in the radiological status of a facility that sits in a desert whose wind patterns can carry contamination across significant distances. That silence was already the most consequential information withholding of this entire conflict before the second strike arrived this morning. The second strike has now compounded everything the first silence was concealing, because whatever damage the first strike produced inside the Dimona perimeter, the second strike has now added to it. Whatever structural integrity was compromised by the first salvo now faces additional stress from the second. Whatever containment challenges existed after the first strike now face the additional impact.
Now, during the weekend, we had Netanyahu who called the world leaders, all the world leaders, to join the U.S.-Israel war.
please.
Iran.
They told him to kick rocks.
It is that some countries were already moving in that direction. We've seen the UK. I think they already gave access to. They gave US a base where they can easily attack Iran. I saw that during the weekend, and then
No, they did.
They
Joby's
didn't.
talking about, no, it's not easy to attack. It's always a sheer base. Joby's talking about Diego Garcia, which sits, Joby, almost 4,000 miles away. So that's not easily accessed Iran. So imagine you in Nairobi, and somebody gives you a base over Harare, Zimbabwe, to attack you in Nairobi. That's what. So it ain't close.
Makes sense. Okay.
So we have some major breaking.
Supposedly,
So we have some major breaking news coming from the Israel-Iran war. And let me tell you, this time around, we are all going to know the truth. So Israel is now claiming that Iran bombed their hospital, one of the largest hospitals in Israel. And let me tell you, what was found below that hospital is going to shock the whole world, because everything is now coming out and nothing is being hidden. In the underground of that hospital was where Israel was keeping missiles and tanks. Let me tell you, the videos that are coming from there are very much shocking. And the truth of the matter is that Iran did not bomb that hospital. It was a shockwave that hit that hospital. Iran was targeting a military facility which is just next to that hospital. But after the blast, it is now what is coming out. There is a lot of tanks and a lot of missiles below that hospital. For all the days, Israel was saying that Gaza was hiding their weapons inside the hospitals and the civilian homes. But it is now turning out that Israel was doing the same in their country, and now they are blaming Iran, and they are saying that Iran will pay a heavy price for attacking a hospital. The kind of propaganda Israel is trying to pass to the whole world is that Iran is a very bad nation. But indeed, it is now coming out that Iran didn't even have any aggression of even acquiring a nuclear weapon. And yet, Israel has been saying that Iran is 2 weeks into making a nuclear bomb from 1990 up to this date. So they just wanted to attack.
supposedly, they actually targeted a bunker which was likely sheltering Israeli nuclear scientists. It's located 10 kilometers, about 5 miles away from the Dimona nuclear facility, as you can see here in this image. There are some more photos from the early morning hours of the destruction that was wrought in Arad. Netanyahu decided he was going to take a visit to the city, so he went to Arad, and you can clearly see the look of shock on his face. If you follow the mainstream media, if you listen to just whatever Netanyahu has to say when his messages get aired for a few minutes as he is, rummaging through the rubble of Arad, Israel, or Tel Aviv, you might believe that Iran is the big, bad, scary, terrorist country that they all claim it to be. But the truth is, what took place in Israel last night, 2 major waves of strikes, one on a city called Arad in Israel in the Negev desert, and also there was one on the city of Dimona. These were, in fact, retaliatory, meaning certain targets were hit in Iran, and as a result of that, the Iranians decided to respond by hitting similar targets in Israel. Now, Dimona, if that name rings a bell, the reason why Dimona is such an important city, such a noteworthy city, is because of the fact that Dimona is home to Israel's secret nuclear program.
Isn't it funny, Isn't it funny? Israel's the only country that have nuclear weapons and don't have to tell nobody. Why is that? Why is Israel the only country in the world that has nuclear weapons and don't have to tell nobody, but everybody knows they got them? Because the UN was created by these motherfuckers. That's why. That's fake United Nations. And it's funny, when Israel and America attacked Iran, yet the UN condemned Iran for being attacked, for getting punched in the face. That's how you know the UN is fake. It's supposed to be a secret. Israel doesn't have nuclear weapons. If it does, it's a secret. No one's supposed to know. Everybody knows they got them. Well, John F. Kennedy got shot in the head too because he said we're not going to let Israel create a nuclear weapon. Shit. So you're not going to let us do what? We do what the fuck we want to do. We're the Rothschilds. Yeah, you talking about. So everybody knows there are nuclear weapons there, but Israel supposedly don't got no nukes. Go ahead, Joby.
Muted? What are you talking about? Your audio has an issue? I didn't touch my audio. Is it better? I think it's because the stream glitched out for a second. Is it better? Test. It's okay. What do you guys are tripping. The audio is fine. Just reload. Okay. The reason why Dimona is so important and noteworthy is because of the fact that that is where Israel's secret nuclear program is located. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're going to talk about all of this. We're going to get into some of the images and videos that came out from these strikes on Dimona and Arad. But first, I want to show you this right here. This is a video of Trump administration official saying that bombing Iran's nuclear power plants is not off the table. Take a listen.
And the reason I'm asking you is when the president says he's going to bomb energy infrastructure, civilian energy infrastructure, is he going to bomb a nuclear power plant, or is that off the table?
Well, I would never take anything off the table for the president, certainly not on national television. However, there are larger plants. There's one outside of Tehran. There are others outside of other cities.
So them white savages talking that fuck shit right there, Iran said, if you hit any of our electric power plants, it's going to be lights out. Israel, lights out. They're not going to exist. And all your fake puppet states you got here, all these fake puppet kingdoms, that's how Iran said it too. All these fake puppet kingdoms you got around us, they're going to cease to exist. That's why they didn't hit him. That was a week ago. That was an ultimatum last Friday. If you don't do it, we're going to hit all your electricity and just see, this is all civilian stuff. Then do it, man. This destroys your civilization. Oh, I said, okay. You hit it. We're going to wipe Israel off the map. And all your puppet kingdoms, UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia, we're going to wipe their ass out. And when we wipe them out, guess what? You're not going to help them. We're going to overthrow their ass. And that's known because they're all puppet kingdoms, all fake. They said, we're going to overthrow their ass. And guess what? Ain't no bombs been dropped on no Iranian electricity sites. Because that's real. Everybody knows that's real. That's real. Drop the motherfuckers. Your puppet kingdoms, they're gone. They're gone. And once I blow up all them oil wells, the people will rise and they will kill your fucking fake kings. Or your fake king of Saudi Arabia, the House of Saud, and all these fake kingdoms that you made after the Ottoman Empire fell. They're gone. And you know they're telling you the truth. That's why you didn't do shit. Iran told you your puppet kingdoms, I love the way they said it too, your puppet kingdoms will be wiped out. And with your puppet kingdoms being wiped out, there goes your fake US dollar. Your dollar collapse, and then you won't have any money to support the mission. That's what we're going to talk about right now, right? We're going to talk about right now. If you guys ever read, the Treasury put out a report, I told you this happened, saying America is insolvent. We're fucking broke. We're broke. We're a bum-ass country. Nobody wants to buy our debt. We are insolvent. Okay? So Iran knows that. President keep talking that shit. We'll bankrupt your ass. You're already insolvent, America. You don't have the money to wage no war on nobody. You won't be able to pay nobody. You're insolvent. They close down the Strait of Hormuz. Gas goes up. It's hurting the rest of the world, but let them come after your stupid ass. And they've already said we're going to cut the wires, all the communication cables that go on. If you guys know, most of communication is not in satellites. It's under the water. They lay down broadband underwater. And one of the main broadband areas is in the Gulf, the Persian Gulf. Iran said we're gonna cut off, we're gonna fuck all that up. We're gonna fuck it all up. There won't be no Google, there won't be no Facebook, none of that shit over here. We're gonna fuck it all up. We're gonna fuck up your economy. And the white man's like, yeah. So Iran said, I wish you would blow up that. He's talking about shit. We're not gonna take nothing off the table, talking all that goofy shit. Go ahead, bomb it. Whole world goes into Mad Max zone, baby. For real. Whole world goes into Mad Max. And that's not me being hyperbolic. That's fucking for real. It was say, like Iran said, yeah, it's gonna get dark, but it's better to come out on the other side without these savages in control. These Epstein people, they call them. These Epstein people eating babies, fucking them. You got Epstein people ruling the world. And it'd probably better just destroy the whole fucking system. Yeah, everybody hurt. You get close to your family, you'll starve, people will die. They know that's right. Because you're going to instant Mad Max zone. But go ahead, so let me talk. Go ahead.
Fired thermal powered. I think the important point here is to understand the IRGC, a declared terrorist organization, not only by us, but a number of European countries, controls a huge swath of Iran's critical infrastructure, their economy, and certainly many of their governing institutions. And so to the extent we're degrading...
And the sad fact, the European, like I said, his time was up. He's weak. So you got no France, England, like they could 100 years ago, go knock your head, take over your shit. Germany, they're weak. And they don't got the numbers to fight no real war. Have Joby put this up one more time. She showed it earlier. Put up Joby, say NATO gets kicked out of Iraq. You want to say NATO is kicked out of Iraq. What the hell was NATO doing in Iraq? That's supposed to be America. What are all these European people doing in fucking Iraq? Oh, stealing oil. Remember, it's been 500 years of white people robbing, stealing, raping. And this time it's just coming to an end. They're weak. They ain't got about all these countries. The French army? The British? The Germans? Man, you better have a goddamn Chuck E. Cheese fight for you than these fucked up militaries. Yeah. And why Iran is laughing. Who's coming? Who's coming? Come on. Iran said, this is not me. I'm not being hyper. Iran said, come on. Get this work. Come get it. Come get this work. Go ahead, Joe. We're going to play.
This huge breaking news coming in. The U.S. and NATO forces are pulling out fast from Iraq, leaving behind their weapons and equipment. U.S. and NATO forces have reportedly fully evacuated Victoria Base in Baghdad after coming under...
You know what? NATO get involved. See, most of boys didn't even know NATO was in Iraq already. Iran doesn't look at NATO involved. The white man's military. NATO! They go NATO getting fucked up. Getting kicked out of Iraq for good. Right? The Americans with NATO, that means NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is Britain, France, Germany, all them group of European countries. I don't know all the fucking countries. Right? All them group of Europeans are all getting kicked out of Iraq and begged not to be murdered. Can you please give us a 24-hour ceasefire so we can leave? Then you won't kill us? He said, yeah, but you better not bring your punk ass back. Right? So we know that those Iraqi militias are sponsored by Iran. Those are their folks. So Iran pushed the motherfucking Americans out of Iraq. The Americans and the fucking Europeans. They got to, what about we got NATO? They're going to NATO come down. NATO just got fucked up right there. What are you talking about, NATO? I already told you, white power is coming to an end. Their days are numbered. And they especially don't got the numbers to do shit. Birth rates all fucked up. Every battlefield you come to, you're going to get knocked in the mouth. And you're going to lose more people, and you don't got no babies to replace the motherfuckers that died. So ain't going to be no invasion, no Africa, and Greek colonized Africa, and all this other. That's over. Them days of glory, that's 100 years ago. Them days is gone. You coming in, knocking people in the head, being a savage. And that's what white people have to deal with. Their minds are going crazy. You being a savage, that's not going to work anymore. Right? You don't got the numbers. You don't get knocked in the motherfucking mouth. So this is what happened. NATO and them got kicked out. So you mean Iraq is going to be able to have its own oil back again after almost 30 years of you stealing their shit? Making white people rich? Iraq's going to actually have access to its own oil again? They don't like that. So what? You don't got the numbers to fight it. Go to play it.
Sustained attacks from pro-Iran militias. Once a massive hub housing up to 46,000 personnel, the base functioned like a self-contained city and stood as one of America's largest overseas military bases. And as pressure intensified, coalition advisors also pulled out from operational command and support camps across Iraq, with many relocating to nearby Jordan. What makes this even more dramatic are claims from local sources that on their way out, U.S. forces detonated light and medium-sized equipment before officially announcing their withdrawal. If confirmed, this marks a significant shift in the region. Not just a tactical move, but a symbolic one. And the main thing is, this isn't happening in isolation. Iraq has increasingly become a front line in the wider US-Iran conflict. Iran-backed militias in Iraq have been launching repeated drone and missile attacks on US bases in response to American operations against Iran. After years of presence, America may now be stepping back under fire, raising serious questions about stability, influence, and what comes next in Iraq.
They might be stepping back. No, they got kicked out. Stepping back. They are forced out.
NATO has been... Breaking news coming out of Iraq. NATO has announced the end of its presence in Iraq. This may possibly be the end of Western domination in the Middle East. Now let's take the facts according to Western media, and let's break that down. NATO has temporarily withdrawn all personnel from its training and advisory mission in Iraq.
They said temporarily. They don't think gonna let them come back. They said temporary. They ain't forced out. Oh, we're white people. It's only temporary. We're gonna regroup and come back and get these stinking air. It's temporary.
2026, relocating them to Europe following intensified regional instability related to the Iran war. While personnel are gone, NATO indicates this is a precautionary measure to ensure safety, with the mission potentially continuing from locations in Europe rather than an immediate permanent closure. Iran has just stated that it wants all Western presence out of the Middle East. It seems like America may be working with Iran to meet the needs and the demands, especially since today the U.S. Treasury has lifted sanctions on Iran and Iranian oil. It's safe to say that a joint effort from Iraq as well as Iran has caused the liberation of Iraq from NATO forces. Now, the key points on the situation: the reason for the withdrawal, the move followed increased security risks and attacks against sites where international forces were located. The mission status: the security advisory mission intended to train Iraqi forces has been suspended on the ground but continues under the coordination of Joint Force Command Naples. Future return reports suggest a lack of a set timeline for return, making it a suspension of in-country activities rather than a definitive for good departure announcement. It's safe to say NATO has permanently left the building. 3:45 a.m. March
25th. That white people talking crazy. Oh, we only temporarily left. You know, you shot us and killed us and told us to get the fuck out, and we couldn't defend and we ran away. It's only temporary. We're gonna come back again. No, you're not coming back in my motherfucking country again. You don't got the power, you don't got the numbers. But that's white people just say all kind of crazy shit. You motherfuckers supposed to be under us. We run the world. That's the psychopath. They've had power for 500 years. They can't stand. Your time is up. Things work in cycles. They understood that. You know, things work in cycles. Your time is just up. Everything's falling apart for you now, right? Your time is up. You know, so you going into other people's countries, stealing their shit, and subjugating them, talking crazy to them. Them days is over. You just don't got the numbers no more. You don't got the power no more. And you're going crazy. You're writing crazy articles like this. Oh, it's going to be temporary. We're going to control Iraq from back in Europe. What? How you going to control Iraq when you way up in fucking England and France? What are you talking about? You sound crazy as cat shit. So
we have some.
What is this? Oh, go ahead. What's this?
Iran War News right now. According to NBC News, Donald Trump is getting video briefings every day, compiling all of the United States' successes, just essentially videos of the United States bombing targets in Iran every single day. And there's very little detail about what Iran is doing. And there are now concerns that Donald Trump is not getting the...
No wonder that's why he's more. I mean, these people got this idiot, this failed nut, right? Set up he's an idiot. They feeding him information how Iran is getting fucked up, but not the other way around. He's too stupid and too fucking docile and an idiot to have yes men and say, no, I need to see the full picture. What's going on with Israel and what is Iran doing? That'd be common sense. He's too goddamn stupid just to have people just tell him stupid shit. And that's why he sounds crazy out here. Everybody call him deranged. Everybody's calling him he's a deranged lunatic. What are you talking about? Shit, we're just doing a great job. Our military's killing everybody. We're just killing everybody and winning. Like, what are you talking? What world you living in? What are you watching? You know, they got him the deranged lunatic living in the White House. So, you know, common sense. Hold on. Give me up. Common sense would have you a leader. You want to know both sides. Okay, so what's the other angle? Not just the positive. What is Iran doing to us? Where we stand with Iran? Because they're making me look stupid out here. They keep telling me Iran is fucked up. They don't have the capacity to launch even missiles. And every day they keep fucking blowing up shit. I don't got the capacity there. That'd be common sense, but he's a moron. He's always been an idiot. He's failed at everything he's done. And that's what I'm about to say. So get off of him, Joe. Go type in, say the U.S. Treasury. Type in, say U.S. Treasury. The U.S. Treasury says America is now insolvent. Insolvent. Means you're broke. Means you're collapsed. And we can't afford no more wars. We're already broke. So, and Iran knows this. So we're going to collapse you. We're going to collapse the U.S. Now we're going to collapse your ass. I'm hoping that they don't fuck up. Give me 2 more years to get my shit together.
Y'all don't find it strange that while all eyes are on Iran, The U.S. has been declared insolvent, which basically means bankrupt without filing the paperwork.
Hey, get up on her, Joe. She got too much. I can't understand. She doing bitch. Got too much music on her shit. God damn. Can't understand what you saying, lady. You ever been without the music more? I turn it down.
Because we are a nation of states, but the state of our nation is abysmal. We are insolvent. We have $6 trillion in assets, but $48 trillion in liabilities. To put it plainly, we have $6 to our name, but we owe $48, and that doesn't
$48. Right.
So we still need to fund Medicare and Social Security.
I was just about to say that. The Social Security is going to be wiped out. I told my friend he's about to get it pretty soon. I said, I know I ain't going to make it to Social Security. I'm 55 fucking years old. I'm not going to make it to Social. They're going to be gone. Okay, we're already insolvent. So all these years I done gave all these people all my motherfucking money, it's going to be gone, wiped out. Because they've been stealing the Social Security money. You don't get no more pensions from your job. And remember, your 401k, if you guys check your 401k, that scam, your 401k is taking a hit right now because of the damn war. All your stocks are based in all these other fake corporations that Iran is blowing the fuck up. So the money you got in your stock market and your 401k is fucking losing money every day. I lost about $5,000 goddamn dollars in a week. But I knew that was gonna happen with the 401k bullshit. That scam. So if Iran pushed the trigger and decides it wants to destroy the world economy, your 401k is back to zero. Nothing. Zero. You don't got no Social Security. Your Social Security's gone. I've been putting in this shit since I was 15 years old, working at Popeyes and shit. I was 50 years old, cooking goddamn chicken and shit in Popeyes. When they were taking that shit out my damn check. That's Social Security. You know, when you're young, you know that shit. What's that shit called? And you think called Sika, a psycho, whatever shit was called. When you was a kid, you look at the check like, who's this psycho motherfucker? Who was that? Why they in my check? You know, when you're young, I had to get a work. You guys remember, when you're 15, you only can work for America till you're 16. So I had to get a worker's permit signed by my mom to let me work at 15, right? And you get your first check, you're looking at all your deductions. I know I'm not the only one who's done it. All you guys have done it. When you're young, you're 15, you get your first fucking crummy job at a fast food restaurant, McDonald's, Popeyes, whatever. Mine was Popeyes, so you guys know you look at your first thing, you say, who's this sicker, picker, whatever, was it FICA, picker, whatever, FICA, you're like, who's this FICA motherfucker? Why are they getting my money? Because at 15, you know what Social Security is? You say, who the fuck is FICA? Why are they getting my money? Who the fuck is this? You know, because your parents ain't told you shit. You look at say this because, you know, you got your regular tax. You say, okay, who's this sicker FICA motherfucker? Who's this? This some other tax? This some other shit? Like, who's this FICA motherfucker? Why they getting half my bread? half my cheese? You know, why they motherfucker? You say, oh man, that's Social Security. Like, what the fuck is Social Security? What's that? You know, you 50, of course you know what it is now, but you 15, I'm 15. Like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck is Social Security? Oh, when you get older, that's them putting your money into a trust. And when you get older, you'll get all that money back when you turn 65. You know, you're 15, like 65. You know, that's long way away, right? You're like 65. I'm supposed to get all my shit back when I'm 65. God damn. Right. So what you thinking? You think these motherfuckers gonna take money from me till I'm 65? So yeah, but you'll get that's like your retirement plan that the government gives. The government knows you're gonna fuck around, so they're gonna take that money and put it aside for you, and you'll get it back when you're 65, so you can retire a little bit, so you won't retire with nothing. You don't know no political shit. You're only 15. You know these motherfuckers have been stealing from the fund because it shouldn't be insolvent. Social Security has nothing to do with what he's talking about, right? He mentioned it, but Social Security's outside the government budget. So he shouldn't be putting this in his mind, but they've been stealing the money. Because remember, it's a trust. Social Security's in a trust fund. So it's not actually part of the government budget, but they've been stealing from the shit. And who's going to stop them? Who's going to arrest these crooked motherfuckers? So I told you, Social Security is going insolvent too because they've been stealing from it. It's not part of the government budget because that's your money. How's my money part of the government budget? You've been taking my damn money and then supposedly putting it aside for me until I get old. But since that's free money and all these crooked ass politicians, they just go and just take millions and shit out the shit. Millions out that shit and never put the money back up in there. And so now, right when I said 8 years ago, I said, right, my fucking luck, as soon as I'm about to get old, as soon as I get old, they're going to steal all that shit. But it's my turn to get my shit after working at Popeyes and say, who the fuck is this Spiker? Who the fuck is these people? Who the fuck is Spiker? Why are they in my damn pocket? Who's Spiker? Why are they in my damn pocket? You guys know you all done did that when you were young and you got your first goofy job. No, I think I got that. Yeah, that's my first, your first goofy job. I think Popeyes was my first job. Actually, I think it was Popeyes. Yeah, it was Popeyes. You get your first goofy check. You look at all your deductions, like, where my money going at? Look, all these people all in my goddamn pocket. Look at all these damn crazy taxes on your check. Okay, that's the regular tax. Then you got state tax. That's why I live in a state that don't got no tax. You know, you gotta live in states where you got tax. You guys get that double. So you get federal tax, and you guys get state tax, and you get that FICA shit. There was some other shit I probably remember. I can't remember. But that time I was living in a state that has state tax. I was in California. That has state tax. Like, what? You got the California tax, you got the United States tax, you got the FICA tax. Like, goddamn. I don't even ever get all my money before I get a dime. They're all in my damn pocket. Shit. All these damn taxes. So, shout out to Florida. Florida don't got no tax. I don't got no income tax. If I move to a state like Texas and Florida, where you ain't got no income tax, I'm not giving you shit. Get out my pocket. Anyway, but yeah, but go let them play.
Careening off of a financial cliff, and we've been there for a long time. I'm actually a pretty fiscally conservative guy. I wish we would return to an age where balancing our federal budget mattered. And when we didn't have enough money, we didn't just say, that's all right, we'll just keep spending it. We actually figured out how to cut the budget and balance it. One of the biggest concerns is Pete Hegseth's Department of War Crimes, which gets 13 to 15% of our discretionary federal budget every single year. And yet for consecutively,
they were taking your Social Security money.
They don't provide.
They were taking your Social Security money and they were putting it into that budget. And they were stealing all the money. They were going to your Social Security account, take that money and put it in the goddamn federal government budget, which is supposed to be illegal. Because your Social Security is not supposed to be part of no damn federal government. Go ahead, gentlemen.
Enough information for auditors to actually say we're confident that these financial statements are accurate. We are sending money into black holes and abysses that we don't have any accountability over, and a reckoning will be coming, whether for us or for our children.
Yep.
Is America officially broke? The world's biggest superpower is drowning in $34 trillion of debt. Let me explain how bad this is. If you spent $1 million every single day since Jesus was born, you still wouldn't have spent $1 trillion. America owes 34 times that amount. Every citizen, including this baby born today, owes $100,000 to the government. So how do they pay it? They don't. They just print more money. It's a Ponzi scheme. The more they print, the less your money is worth. Other countries are watching. China and Russia are dumping the dollar. The king is falling. Do you trust the US dollar with your savings? Tell me in the comments.
So in this week's news, the US government...
That's 2022.
Well, go. Oh, yeah, go. Go to read, say, gotta go read, say, U.S. Treasury. U.S. Treasury has come out and said that the U.S. government is insolvent. That was just this week.
Let me share this as I look.
This is a tracker of exactly how much the war in Iran has cost us this far. And currently costing us $11,000 per second, which means by the end of this video, we will have spent $1.5 million on this war. Meanwhile, despite the president's best efforts to do everything he can to try and curb the price of a barrel of oil, we have been consistently at above $100 for a week. And I'm sure, as you're aware, the president and Secretary Hegseth have requested a further $200 billion in appropriations from Congress to further fund this war. Meanwhile, Congress is stuck in a brawl right now over the SAVE Act and DHS funding. As gas prices continue to skyrocket, let's take a step back and look at the comparable costs of this war as it relates to an America First agenda. One single Tomahawk missile costs about $2.2 million, and it is estimated that we have fired anywhere between 5,000 to 10,000 since this war began. For context, one single Tomahawk missile could provide 800 children with Medicaid coverage for a year.
How about that?
By 10,000.
Hey, what's that?
$25 billion could fully
because the James own all these damn weapons, all these damn. It's a grip. He's making all these fucking useless weapons for millions of damn dollars that don't work. Right? That's why we don't have good health care. Why we don't got good roads? We spend all these billions of dollars for these goofy ass fucking weapons. You see they worthless. Iran been fucking all these fake weapons all up. So it's a grift. It's a card to give motherfucking weapons manufacturers billions of dollars that don't produce shit. Why they can't? We can't have no. Remember, see all the meters. They scared all you people doing the election. Hey, America must be strong. We got people out there killing. We must have a strong military. That's why they can keep scaring you, and you keep voting for stupid shit. They keep the budget keep going. The American military budget is over $1 trillion a year. And the country looks like shit. And you're losing the war. You spend over $1 trillion a year on some fucking military shit, and you're getting blown the fuck up. When you could have been buying, you could have good health care, good schools, good roads. Oh no, that's liberal shit. Got the dumbass white man. That's liberal shit to be able to take care of your family, have good food, a decent house. We're supposed to have savagery and kill and weapons. Go ahead, Joe.
Million Americans for an entire year. $50 billion was cut from the Rural Health Fund, which provides healthcare access to rural Americans, and states are now scrambling to figure out how to backfill this. Well, the amount we've spent on this war could actually cover 2.5 years of the Rural Health Fund cuts. But what about this $200 billion number? First off, $200 billion is more than any other country on Earth spends on defense, except for the United States. But here is the math that nobody is talking about right now. If we're spending approximately $1 billion per day, and he is requesting $200 billion, the president is effectively saying that he anticipates that this war could last for 200 more days. That's not even the worst part. As you know, I like to follow the money. Take a wild guess at who just invested a ton of money and now has ownership stake in a drone manufacturing company that specifically supplies the military with drones. These two did. Yeah. We don't have money to did.
Who was that? His family? Probably his family, some shit. Who is that?
Let me see. I'm trying to see.
Who is it?
I mean,
these two did.
A minute, Kate. I'm trying to get it too. Just a minute. I'm trying to see. I don't know who these are. I'm just seeing the World Liberty Financial. That is Eric and Don Jr.
Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr. Okay, it's a grip. Exactly. So his whole family they're trying to get rich off the backs. This is so criminal. This is so blatantly criminal. See, remember, they're failed business. His whole family is failures. So now he's trying to get money off of government contracts because they know America's going to have to start making drones now. So they trying to get their money into drone companies to get paid, Joe. They're so criminal. Remember, they're all failures. Donald Trump Jr. is a moron. Eric Trump is a moron. They're all failures, like their daddy. They're idiots.
Yeah. We don't have money to provide health care to millions of Americans.
Exactly.
We don't have money to
We can't have health care. We can't have health care.
We do have money to make sure that the president's sons make a lot of money over the course of the next 2 years.
Exactly.
Yeah. This
America is already bankrupt. We are a country that runs solely on debt. Now, what's worse than bankrupting the United States is inflation. And there is good news to all of this. I'll get to that in a moment. The United States going to war with Iran would cause inflationary spikes. Now, the Federal Reserve has not been able to get the inflation rate below 2%. We're sitting at about 2.4%. We have not went below that rate. And that is one of the primary reasons so many Americans on a regular basis are struggling buying goods and services. Now, this large spike that you saw back from 2022 was actually driven by the money supply increasing significantly during 2020 and 2021. Now, we go to a war with Iran. One of the ways that the U.S. government will fund that war is by printing more money. And by printing more money, this will create a more difficult situation for average Americans due to
there's all fake money. Print more fake money, so print more fake money, so everything goes up because the money's worthless. So print more fake money, so your inflation goes up because the money's not backed by it's just paper. So you put more money out into the system, that devalues the money that's already out there because you put more fake money on top of fake money. So everything now rises up even more. And now it's even worse because you got oil, which brings gas, oil becomes gas, and all your products are made from some kind of oil, even your medicine. So if you're all fucked up, you've been eating the wrong things, you're all fucked up medically, right? All your prescriptions are going to go up because all your medications are oil-based. All this oil-based shit you've been fucking slurping down your gullet, right? You've been putting down your gullet. Is now oil-based. So you talk about your heart medicine, the high blood pressure medicine, all this shit's oil-based. And so now you're gonna be messed up even with that. So that's gonna go higher, So, it's just gonna be, this Trump boy, it's some wicked shit. So
this is
that's how all your groceries are going up because it costs more money to get things to market, transportation. So that means you're going to pay more for your GMO because we don't make nothing organic no more. We don't got no fruits and vegetables. So you're going to get more for your GMO and your 3D printed meat.
Human meat. Or the bottom, the up and the bottom.
Situation.
That's right. To get your whole joke, you're going to cost you more money to go to McDonald's, get your whole jawbone.
Plays out.
Man, I saw they want to expand McDonald's in Kenya. I was like, hell no, I'm not touching that shit. I'm not.
Historically, with countries going to
I was wondering why McDonald's wasn't in Kenya. How the hell is KFC in Kenya, not McDonald's? I like that. I find that crazy.
We're good. We already see the
past does not guarantee the future, but that's the likely scenario. Now, the good news to all of this is in an inflationary environment, assets will go up. Your home value should, in theory, go up, which is not great for first-time home buyers. The stock market should rise. In fact, I pinned up at the top of the video, even though the last month has been very choppy, very rough, I would say, for most retail investors, there has not been a real true breakdown in the stock market. I talk about the different sectors that are looking good, but this whole war with Iran, we have not seen any dramatic decline. We are seeing this chop largely because you have news articles that are talking about peace talks all the way to a full-blown flattening the country. Okay, so there is uncertainty. That uncertainty is creating chop, but we have not seen any major breakdown in the market.
The war has made America's economy and debt problems so much worse. This table I have behind me, that's very important. It's a bad sign for all of our debts. All these numbers above 3.5, above 4, some of them touching almost 5. These are interest rates that the U.S. has to pay on its debt for certain durations of time. 2 years, 1 year, 10 years, 6 months, 20 years, 30 years, you get the idea. It's not the fact that we're $38 trillion in debt. It's the fact that these interest rates have never been this high when our debt compared to the overall economy has also been this high. Right now, our debt compared to the size of our GDP is about 125%. The last time that happened was World War II, but the interest rates were much, much lower. This means we are servicing about $1 trillion every single year in just interest on the debt that we've accumulated, which is about 3% of our GDP. And the last time we had that kind of a problem was during the 1980s. It was pretty brutal, but at least during the 1980s, the United States was cooperating with OPEC to flood the oil markets with as much supply as they could to bring down the Soviet Union. But it looks like the exact opposite is happening. There is a contraction in the oil supply.
I understand this dude, this the Geo Hussar. This dude's a moron. And he's evil like all white. He's evil. Right? He thinks it's okay to kill babies and all of those shit. He left a comment with thing. We should still support America. So we don't support evil, moron. So don't get rid of him. Because I say something about why you get rid of him. When we continue, Joby.
Okay. If you say so.
Yeah, I'm about to get rid of him. Put him up there. So he's talking about the cooperation. Remember, these are puppet states. They're not about them cooperating. It's about these puppet Arab states doing what they're told to do because they know they were put there by the British and they'll get overthrown. They're fake kingdoms. So it ain't about them cooperating. It's about them doing. That's why you didn't hear the UN ever say anything about the Middle East family kingdoms. Why don't they ever have? Say when they told Burkina Faso, why don't you have an election? Where's your election? There's no elections in the UAE, in Saudi Arabia, in Qatar, in Kuwait, in Bahrain. Why don't they never bring them up about elections and dictatorship? Because that's their puppet countries. They tell you, Evil Terrain, you must give elections. You must do it now. You must do it. Why don't you do it? But they don't say nothing to them. All these fake kingdom countries, right? They don't say nothing because the UN is a scam created by the same people that's been robbing and invading people. They don't give a fuck about no damn democracy. They don't care about whether you are robbing and stealing for them in your country. So that's what this moron is saying. This dude's a moron. He's an idiot. His takes are so ridiculously biased and ridiculously crazy. I knew that when he started talking about Russia and Ukraine about 3 years ago. Russia's going to lose, the Ukrainians are going to win, and it's wrong for Russia to go and invade. If you guys don't know, Russia didn't invade Ukraine. Had no choice because the Americans and the wicked-ass Israelis were creating bioweapons in Ukraine. And they're releasing bioweapons on people and also overthrowing the governments so they could invade Russia. That's how you know he's dishonest. These people are dishonest actors. He won't say nothing about the genocide that's happening in Gaza. They just blowing up children, double tapping them, blowing up people. So his analysis, like most white people, is biased because he's a savage. Always understand where they come. They come from their savagery first. They don't come from morality. They're naturally immoral people. They're immoral. Natural. That's their nature, right? He's immoral by nature. So it's moral relativism. Whatever the thing might be, he sees morality is relative to him. It's moral relativism for him. He has no real moral. He's not moral. His morality is fake. He doesn't see like, okay, this is wrong in this circumstance. He'll take the same circumstances right if it benefits white people. So he's immoral across the board, like most of them are. This bastard is immoral. So whenever they give you some analysis, always come from the point of view, first of all, that these motherfuckers are immoral. What is the angle? Because they never come from an angle of honest inflection. It's always some shit that benefits their immorality. Go ahead, Joby.
time we had that kind of a problem was during the 1980s. It was pretty brutal. But at least during the 1980s, the United States was cooperating with OPEC to flood the oil markets.
See, America was cooperating with OPEC. Not that we went over there and took them over and said, you're going to do what you're told to do. We were cooperating with these fake Muslim states, these fake kingdoms. As Iran called them rightly, these fake kingdoms. We were cooperating with the fake kingdoms. See how crazy he talked?
They could to bring down the Soviet Union, but it looks like the exact opposite is happening. There is a contraction in the world's oil supply because the United States has gone to war with Iran, and Iran is attacking its other Persian Gulf neighbors.
I'm paused. See, I just lied? Iran is attacking its other Persian Gulf neighbors. Not that America has bases in those countries, and America's been launching attacks against Iran. I told you, see, his morality is only relative. It's fake. He's not saying that those bases that were there in Qatar, see, I never even seen with Joe, but I'm just showing you about how they work, how fucked up he is in the head, how morally bankrupt this fucking no good white bastard is, right? So he said Iran is taking its neighbors, not telling you that those surprise attacks came from Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia. What do you think all them bases are there for? That's where they've been launching attacks against Iran. So they're not in it. So if Joby's neighbors are fucking me up, and I'm fighting Joby, I'm supposed to go deal with Joby's neighbors too. If Joby's neighbors are Joby, I'm living around Joby, Joby's using their neighbors to come fuck me up, I got to deal with her neighbors too. But that's not what he's saying. He said, oh, they've attacked their neighbors as if their neighbors were innocent. As if their neighbors have been helped killing innocent women and children in Iran and baby girls in schools. I told these motherfuckers, you think these motherfuckers are naturally wicked. He doesn't even think about that. This motherfucker is wicked. Say about the evil who these people are. They're naturally evil. He's trying to say, well, why would they attack them for what? He's literally trying to tell you, why would Iran attack his neighbors for them attacking them? Why would they do that? It's the crazy shit this moron is saying. Go ahead, Joe, let him play.
Not only the oil supply, but also the natural gas supply, which is why we are seeing high prices across the energy board, and that will eventually trickle into overall inflation for the United States. Just to drive the point home with how dramatically energy prices, or at least oil prices, have risen, I have the two major benchmarks, West Texas Intermediate and Brent, and you could see over the past 8 months, they went from being a little bit high in the 80s to dropping down below to the 60s, even the low high 50s, and then boom, straight up over $100 a barrel. Adding this high inflation, overall energy supply shocks due to two wars in major regional areas.
And I want you to remember, I want you to see, you're looking at a soulless being here. Soulless, just a bundle of sticks. Not like you have a soul, empathy, or any kind of humanity. He just numbers. He just said, yeah, they attacked the neighbors. They ain't care that they just murdered children full of school, a school full of children. He don't give a shit. The numbers, and you're just gonna make that oil price because these are soulless beings, guys. Standing on spiritual. This motherfucker has no soul. He's soulless. He's a soulless entity. That's why they are naturally immoral. And you niggas are laying down with these demons. Got no fucking clue what you're dealing with. Go ahead, Joby.
Constantly sink because they are worried. We're even seeing the price of gold fall below $5,000 an ounce. Precious metals in general are dropping right now because people were expecting very generous rate cuts before the war, but now that it's happened, those rate cuts are considered to be null and void. It's not going to happen, or at least that's what they think. So the speculators of gold and other precious metals have left. The question is, where did all of this money go? Usually when there is a major war and big global economic disruptions, people flock to U.S. treasuries as a source of safety, and we usually see these yields
Pause it. And that's what you don't see, them flock. See, so this moron is wrong again, because that's why they're not flocking to U.S. treasuries. That's why we're insolvent. Because if they were buying, usually, if you guys know what U.S. Treasury, that's our debt. That's when other people come in and buy our debt, our Treasury bonds. He said people flock. That's when people care about propping up the United States. They want to see this evil empire end now. So ain't nobody come putting their money in those Treasury bonds. I'm gonna send Job a video showing you that, right? So he said, when people things have, so when America goes fucks up, people move their money to America and buys Treasury bonds, but not no more. Not no more. They're not buying no Treasury bonds. That's why the Treasury just told you we are insolvent, moron. They're not buying Treasury bonds. They're not buying that shit. They said, no, we're not buying no more of this U.S. debt. For what? So they can keep killing us? Why would we do that? Go ahead, Joby.
So it's kind of rough. And I kind of know where people are parking their money, but I can't say it because that would sound like investment advice. But the very simple solution is if the European coalition plus Japan actually get together to protect tankers in the Strait of Hormuz, then these problems go away. Thanks for watching.
You see what he said at the Japan? I thought he was wrong for doing illegal invasion. If the Japanese would go and try to put themselves in harm's way and other people, we could go in and stop the Iranians and kill them and get the oil. No, you can't. Get your punk ass on the boat and you go over there and try to get the oil. You do it. He said, if Japan goes in there and tries to get the oil, maybe we can. Then we will unleash the markets of oil. You go do it. You take your punk ass up in there, go do it. Since you want Japan, but Japan didn't start the war. Other countries didn't start this war. America did. It's about we can get the oil if other countries don't do. How other countries gonna do that if Iran said we're gonna blow your fucking ass up? Iran told them, hey, don't use the dollar, use the yuan. You can come in and get all the oil you want, but the dollar is null and void up in here. You can use the Chinese yuan, but nah, we're not gonna be taking no dollars. That's out. So wouldn't it be easier for Japan instead of going and trying to instead of getting themselves blown up to just change currency and buy the shit with the yuan? See, he didn't mention that. He said they should go and get themselves blown up and shit, and then we can go and what is he talking about? I told you these motherfuckers are natural, immoral psychopaths. Go ahead, Joe. Let's see what this guy's talking about.
Okay, as we continue, I'm going to read a little bit of an
Yeah,
article.
read come. Go ahead.
In the comments as well, and also what is happening in Cuba. I think also most of you have seen what is happening in Cuba. It's in total darkness. This is because of the energy which is being messed up.
One of the major. I guess we how white people are. Let's destroy that. It's completely blacked out. Cuba is right now suffering the second complete power outage that this island has experienced in the space of a week. Once again, the aging infrastructure here is.
So as this goes on, I'm going to continue with that. There's an article I was reading earlier which was saying that there's one ship which is currently crossing the Atlantic right now, which is carrying 730,000 barrels of Russian oil, and the destination is Cuba. Expected arrival days are 10 days, and only the arrival of this ship will decide if there will be a World War III or not. They're saying that one ship is crossing the Atlantic right now, 730,000 barrels of Russian oil. Like I said, destination is Cuba. Expected arrival days are 10 days. America says it cannot land. Putin says it will, and it will. And this one ship can be the trigger of the World War III amid the U.S.-Iran tensions. And this is how they want to break it down. They're saying that Cuba is facing its biggest energy crisis since the collapse of the Soviet Union, and under a complete U.S. oil blockade since January 29th. And the nighttime satellite imagery shows light levels in Cuba down at 50%. Hospitals running on generators, cancer patients without chemotherapy, garbage truckers without fuel. Trump said publicly, whether I free it or take it, I think I could do anything I want with Cuba. They are very weakened. They are a very weakened nation right now. Our country is going dark, and this is a neighbor. This is its neighbor that announced. Let me read that again. A country is going dark, and its neighbor just announced he owns it, or he announced it, or he owns it. In January 29th, Trump places a complete oil blockade on Cuba. Venezuela supply cut off simultaneously. On February to March, the beginning of March, we see the U.S. Navy seizing at least 9 ships attempting to deliver oil to Cuba. On 18th of March, we had the Russian tanker Anatoly Klodikin, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, departs and officially headed to Boston and actually heading to Cuba. And on March 23rd, the ships enter U.S. Navy zone of operations. America considers arrest. And then the Russia is already using deceptive tactics like ghost ship maneuvers, AIC signal manipulation, ship-to-ship transfer near Cyprus to move oil to Cuba without detection. And one Hong Kong flagged tanker already spoofed its location and likely delivered 190,000 to 200,000 barrels to Cuba in early March. The blockade has holes. Russia found them, and the Anatoly Klodikin is not hiding. It is making a statement. This is the most direct Russia-U.S. confrontation since the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962. In 1962, we had the sovereign ship carrying missiles sail toward Cuba, and Kennedy blocked them. And then we had Khrushchev, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Khrushchev.
That was the Russian president back then, back in the 60s. That was Nikita Khrushchev. Go ahead, Joe.
Back. The world held its breath for 13 days. In 2026, a Russian tanker is sailing towards Cuba, while America is simultaneously fighting Iran. Putin chose this moment deliberately.
Exactly. Why America's too busy to worry about shit, go down there and try to help Cuba. Because last time Russia tried to do it, America stopped the ship, and arrested all the Russians. But now that America's got they're preoccupied with Iran and their navy's all the way over there, go over there and try to bring supplies to Cuba now. Go ahead, Joe. What they doing to Cuba is evil. Everything they do is always based in evil. It's evil. Because they want control and ownership and the wealth of the little country. They want all of it. You can never have. They want everything. Oh, we want all of it. All of it. Go ahead, Joe.
Here's exactly what America's choice is. The U.S. Treasury OFAC specifically added Cuba to its blocked list, making it illegal to deliver Russian crude regardless of the ship's flag. America arrests the Anatoly Klodikin. I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly. My bad. It boards a Russian flagged vessel in international.
It boarded it and told them, no, you will not be taking oil to Cuba and the rest of them. Exactly right. Which is illegal. This is illegal. Who you got the right to tell me who the fuck I'm giving oil to?
Exactly. They're saying that is an act of war under maritime.
It is an act of war. It's illegal, Joe. It's an act of war, Joby, but everybody's scared of the United States. Russia, China, Iran said, fuck it. Shit. This either we fight these motherfuckers or we go, that's the end of us. Go ahead.
If America lets it pass, the blockade is broken. Every sanctioned nation watches, and there is no good option. Putin engineered it that way. Also adding that the Kremlin said we are ready to provide all the possible assistance. All issues are being worked out with our Cuban counterparts. This would be the first oil shipment to reach Cuba in 3 months, and the first direct Russian challenge to a U.S. naval blockade in over 60 years. America's navy is stretched across 2 two theaters simultaneously, the Persian Gulf and the Caribbean. Putin waited until America has no ships to spare, then sent one. And then, while every headline focused on Iran ceasefire talks and missile strike, a sanctioned Russia tanker carrying 730,000 barrels crossed the Atlantic, officially declaring Boston as its destination while heading directly toward Havana. The ship AIS has already shown patterns consistent with deceptive navigation and the same playbook Russia used to move oil to Iran for years. The most important ship in the world right now is the one that nobody is talking about. And Iran closed Hormuz. America scrambled its navy east. Russia sent a tanker to Cuba. America's navy is already stretched. A Kremlin spokesman said Russia is discussing possible option for assisting Cuba. Diplomatic language for we are deciding how far to go. Yeah, how far to go. Iran tests America from the east. Russia tests America from the west. Two simultaneously pressure points, and the U.S. is being crushed between all this. In 1962, one ship turning back or moving forward decided whether nuclear war happened. In 2026, the Anatoly Kolodykin, like that, yeah, is 3,000 It's 3,000 nautical miles from Cuba, moving toward carrying 730,000 barrels, flying a Russian flag in waters America calls its own. If America stops it, it draws a Russian ship, an act of war. If America lets it pass, every sanctioned nation learns the blockade is breakable. These are geopolitical chess elites use, and you will never understand it on your own. And of course, that's why it's being broken down. So that is the article I bumped into earlier, explaining what is currently happening in Cuba. And of course,
did they get to Cuba, Joey? Did they get there?
Not yet, but they did cross the Atlantic. It's supposed to arrive in 10 days. 10 days arrival.
Giving out, and that's incredibly concerning for many people. Cubans are, of course, no strangers to blackouts. It's something that's been fairly common in the last several years. But what's changed recently is the Trump administration has placed a total oil embargo on this island. And what that means is that there are fewer cars on the road, almost no cars, few passing here. Schools have had their hours cut. Hospitals are often in total darkness because they don't have oil for the generators. Life is grinding to a halt here. And so the Cuban government is negotiating with the U.S. government because the Trump administration says they want to see major changes take place here. They want to see the communist-run government open up, both politically and economically.
So understand this, guys. So it means babies who need power in the hospitals and old people, they're all dying. Understand, this is evil. They're dead. Exactly. They've been dying every day. They're dying every day. But they're helping the island. They're giving them free. It's always about they're giving them freedom. Freedom from life. We're giving them freedom. That's the same shit they tell you. Well, they got Arab dictators and shit they put in power over there in the Middle East. Freedom. Oh, that's crazy free. Told you, everything for them is inverted. They tell you about freedom, you know, it's death and destruction. Go ahead, Joey.
They're open to negotiations, but they won't make major concessions. It's hard to see, though, in the dark for the days to come, how they really have any other option.
The entire country of Cuba just officially lost power. 11 million people are sitting in complete darkness right now.
11 million.
The entire electrical grid in Cuba just collapsed, and the Ministry of Energy confirmed a complete disconnection of the national system. Every single city, every single home, every single hospital, 11 million people went dark all at the same time. This is officially the third full island blackout
But they're giving them freedom, Joe. They bring them freedom! Freedom!
For months. Cuba hasn't been able to receive an oil shipment in over 3 months, and the country produces about 40% of its own fuel, but that's not enough to keep the grid running. They're saying that the infrastructure has not been properly maintained in years. Experts are saying that the power plants are running on heavy oil that's corroding the equipment from the inside. One professor who's tracked Cuba for decades said that the technicians that are keeping it running right now are magicians, given the condition that it's in. By Monday night, crews had only been able to restore power.
Pause it. Remember, they're not allowed to import anything because America's got an embargo for them to get new equipment. So the equipment is 60 years old. All that equipment they have is 60 years ago. Because remember, America has an embargo on Cuba since 1950 something, 1955, some shit like that. Whenever the revolution happened, so they got an embargo. Because everybody's got to use the goopy dollar. So when the dollar collapses, Iran said, when that fake dollar collapses, everybody gets free. Because you can't put no sanctions on no goddamn body no more. Your evil, wicked ways. Wicked! Right? So, and that's what that goopy dude was talking about. Joby showed in the beginning. Oh, yeah, we just have the Japanese and them go in there and try to steal Iran and steal all the oil. Shut your weird ass up.
Percent of Havana, which is about 42,000 customers, along with several hospitals. Officials have already been having to warn that even those small circuits could fail again, and there is currently no official timeline for when the power is supposed to come back. So that is an entire country in the dark.
This is crazy. I remember when Kenya just had the whole country without power for like 3 days. It was crazy, chaotic.
Of course, but they've been how long they been in the dark? They've been in the dark for about a month now, 2 months. Shit, everybody butt naked, everybody running around and stink, can't wash the ass right. everybody walking around that motherfucker musty as shit.
Come around me. Don't come around me. Far away from me.
Hey, you gotta lead them women. You gotta lead the women along in Cuba right now. They can't wash their coochies. It's rough, Jack.
Stay away from me. You know, hey, this is why.
I got no choice but to stay near you. Shit, we still gotta live. I ain't got no lights. I ain't got no water.
I can't imagine. Imagine if the same happens in America and you guys are not even allowed to store water on super drums. That's illegal. Like
yeah, because they want everything exactly.
In Africa, to do that, we save. I don't do that. I think because I've become too spoiled. But
you become spoiled. You're spoiled. You're in an apartment, living your best life. That's why.
But still, even the people
spoiled ass.
Them with super drums, the jerry can, they have water stored on the balcony. But I don't bother. Right?
Yeah. How long we come, boy? Just spoiled.
Okay, but I've grown up with the same thing. It's a thing we grew up in. It's a culture in Africa, like just storing water. I think.
Check the video. Read the comments, Joe, and then I sent you some videos.
Okay. I see Jason here was saying, anyone else who noticed it's a gold-shaped orbs coming back, especially when certain missiles go off. I've not noticed that personally. I've just seen that Iran released some new type of missile. I don't know, they're calling it the Ghost, something like that. That's all I've seen. But I also see Jason says, lost my mother last sister on Saturday. She was 84. All 9 of my mother's siblings gone now. Damn, so sorry. That is your mom's sister. Condolences to you and your family members. I hope everything goes well. But I also see Emil says, Karibu Sana says, I'm a Chinaman, but I don't eat cats and dogs. I'm a pescatarian. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Noodles, you still eat them noodles, god damn it. But I also see Jibba says, I find it hard to believe they don't have nuclear weapons. And also says, look up Zalman Shapiro. He stole the nuclear material from a lab near Pittsburgh in the 60s. Emil also adding, I paid $30 at a Navy exchange gas station the other day. That's the highest I've paid so far. The lowest was around $18. Damn. And also see, Jiba says, I read Iranians pay $0 for electricity. That's amazing. And Danny Harrison Karibusana says, America and the Western dominance is over. What people need to think about is what they're going to do to prepare for the for the post-Western dominated world. And Jiba Java also says 30% gone off the top. Shout out to Sister Monique. Hope you're doing great today. Karibu. Danny Harrison says, I asked one of the cooks at the restaurant that I worked at in high school, my first job at Q Sarah. He told me it was a social security. And 10 Speed, Karibu Sana, you are not so late. You are on time. You tried today. Nice to see you. Sister Monique says that lizard held that SSC way in England. Most people never seen that flat. If I got your comment correctly. 10 Speed says churches, chicken, second high school job. And Jaba says Danny says that's because most of the military budget is being embezzled to defense contractors that are owned by private equity groups, BlackRock and Vanguard. I do agree. 10 Speed says, Keith, how do you think this war is going to end? I think the Jays is looking for a new home, Venezuela or Cuba or Kenya. God damn it, I just thought about it. This is why they're moving to Kenya. Like having 520 acres of land. You know how much 520 acres of land, how big that is? Maybe they're shifting to Kenya because, again, we go back to history. This was their home they were supposed to settle in from the beginning, Kenya or Uganda. So what if they're making this their new home? That's right. This is crazy.
Better watch out.
We got to. That's why people must step down. If he's down, they go down. Jaba says he won't mention the huge oil trade that was made 15 minutes before Trump pressed calling off the power plant strike. Aaron James, nice to see you. Karibu says they are looking for a new home in Argentina too. Wow, everywhere, I bet.
Oh yeah, Argentina, they're aggressively going in there because they know certain parts of Argentina, if you burn down this, it's called the Pandagoria over there. They're burning the lands down so they can go buy them in Argentina. And Argentina's known that, like, what? All these Jewish people just show up all of a sudden, thousands, stealing land, burning down lands and shit. It's crazy. It's called Pandagoria, some shit that Israelis over there burning down. Remember, because they said once they lose, Israel gets blown up, because they were going to try to drop a nuclear bomb in the northern hemisphere and let the northern hemisphere get fucked. So they were going to move to the southern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere mean Africa, but in Africa, and also Argentina. It's how wicked they are.
Let me cue the videos you've sent me. See,
yeah, go ahead.
As we get closer to
yes, go. Find out.
Okay, the first one. That's funny.
I seen the cat I was with last week. He's asking about something. I'm like, all right. I'm trying to keep it quiet. Shout out to Jiraki. Hey, Jiraki, thanks for the pause it. Thanks for the donation, brother. The sister too. Thanks to the sister. I forgot your name. Sister. Something say I go back. Is it Sandra Samuels? But shout out to the sister that gave us a donation. Shout out to Brother David that gave us a donation as well. So, you know, every little bit helps.
Thank you. We appreciate you for keeping these lights on.
Sure do be needed. Yeah. The rest of these ungrateful bastards. That's I'm telling it's Joey's birthday. I don't get nothing.
Oh go
ahead.
The USA can't afford to fight anymore. You're absolutely right, Rizwan. I agree with you there. It's already allocated itself $200 billion for this war. That's an understatement. It's going to cost a lot more than that. That was for the first 4 weeks. But it's the economic damage being caused by this war to the Americans. That's far more dangerous to them. And that's the main worry here for Trump. Trump knows the USA is going bankrupt. That's why he's doing these tariffs, and he's preparing for the end of the petrodollar. Now, if 30% of all the customers who are buying oil, they need dollars. If 30% of them stop using dollars and start using other currencies.
Remember, pause it. See, so he kind of acted with the other white dude that Joby said. Everybody's going to go into U.S. Treasuries. That's if you guys know U.S. Treasuries. Those are Treasury bonds, the dollar. Everybody's going to invest in the dollar, and that means our debt. But people are not invested in the dollar. So we're printing money. Check this out. America, since our debt is in our own money, we're printing our own money to purchase our own debt because no one else is buying it, like that goopy white dude just said. No one's coming to buy America's debt and buy these treasury bonds. So the Federal Reserve Bank has been forced to print more dollars to cover our debt, which means this is a Ponzi scheme waiting to collapse. And at the end of the day, it's going to collapse. It can't be salvaged. It can't be saved. That's why America's trying to do all these Bitcoins and stable coin nonsense. That ain't going to work either. We're going to go into Mad Max territory. And good luck. Good luck then. Go ahead, Joe.
It's enough for the petrodollar to lose its value. It'll begin to spiral out of control. I've been reading articles by Ray Dalio, and he talks about this exact scenario. You can always spot when a currency is about to fail. When they have to print more to buy their own debt. In effect, the USA is having to print more to buy its own treasuries. The Americans, the United States know they've got no option but to pivot now into crypto, in particular with stable coins. And each one of those stable coins can be backed by a US Treasury, apparently. That's the plan here. But in order for that to work, because nobody else is buying those treasuries now, and everybody else is selling them.
See what he told you. No one's buying these treasury bonds that the white dude just said. And you know what happens? They go into American treasury bonds. They buy them to be secure. That's a lie. I've been saying it's a lie. And also people know that it wasn't no Toki Yakamoto, Yakabuki Doki who created no damn Bitcoin shit. I told you it was the American government, it was the CIA did that shit. Go ahead, Joe.
There's Yakamoto, though, for real.
Whatever his name is, Yakatobi Sakamoto, whatever his name is.
Bitcoin, and to be much higher, you need the value of other various altcoins, the combined market cap of all of them to be much bigger. That's what they need. At the moment, the national debt is increasing by, I think it's 1 trillion every 100 days or so, and it's accelerating. On top of that, if they've got more bailouts, all it takes is 1 or 2 more events that could knock them. Black swan events, and the United States could be doomed here. The dollar will fail, in my humble opinion. Just my 2 cents. Could take 5 years, could take 10 years, could take 2 years, could take a year. Nobody knows. My thoughts are, I might sound like a bit of a conspiracy theorist, not whatever. The whole reason they've got these ISO 2022 coins ready is because they know at some point it's all going to go. And then one day, all of a sudden, they're going to pivot hard into those. The dollar will start, if the dollar starts to collapse, it won't just be a case of the American dollar collapses. It'll be a case of all the currencies linked to it, and many other fiat currencies all begin to collapse. And the era of fiat currencies will be over. It's just a matter of time. The Iranians know this. They know with America, all you got to do is take out its economy. If you want to take out its economy, it's that dollar you want to go for. Attack the dollar. And that's why so many of them are adamant. No, there's no negotiations. No. Many people want this war to drag out for the Americans because this will bankrupt them. They know that. Bankrupt the Americans. That's why they were saying if anybody's going to use yuan instead, then no problem. You can pass the Strait of Hormuz, because they know that's the weak point of America. They can't beat America on the battlefield. But if the economic cost to them is too big, America's done for, one way or another. Even if they do pivot into crypto, and there's no guarantee that's going to work. No guarantee at all. It could all just be a giant rug pull. Many people are assuming that's going to be the case. Pivot into crypto. Trump, his plan is to make himself a lot of money. That's my gut feeling here. And many others in his administration and many others in many other countries, they know this is going to be the case. Pivot into crypto, sell at the top, get the hell out of it, because it's all going to come crashing right down like a house of cards, because it's not really backed by anything. The Russian foreign minister was saying that's what the plan is for the Americans.
Exactly. That's what I said it's going to be. How you going to do crypto coins? That's not backed by it. That's not a fake currency too. Not backed by nothing. So they have the dumb people invest in it, and when they pump it up, they're dumping on everybody. Everybody go broke with all their money in that shit because it's a pump and dump scheme. Yeah. What is crypto backed by?
And then try to deflate the whole amount of national debt they've got. They've got no other option. But yeah, it's just a matter of time before those chickens come home to roost.
Okay, they have this one.
What happens if the dollar breaks? Where do people go?
Well, I mean, they're going to gold. They're going back to their own currencies. They're buying real assets. But the important thing is what happens to America, what happens to our economy, because our economy is predicated on the dollar's reserve status. It doesn't work. If we can't run trillion-dollar-a-year trade deficits, it doesn't work. Because we don't have the factories anymore. We don't have the infrastructure.
We don't make anything anymore. So like we said, we don't have supply. We don't make anything. So at least our dollar's not backed by anything. What happened? we don't make anything anymore. So you can't even use what we will make to show up a currency because we don't make anything. We just imported things like Africa, so we don't have any value. Then we don't have the skill. Our people don't have the skills anymore to make anything because you've been 30 years of, your grandpa's dead. He knew the skills of making shit. You didn't. Factories all shipped to China, and they made this stuff even better. So now you won't even have the money to buy the shit shipped to China because you won't have any money to buy anything because your economy's destroyed. Go ahead, Joby. We're in a real dangerous time right now.
They're going to gold. They're going back to their own currencies. They're buying real assets.
That's why it didn't happen.
The important thing is what happens to America, what happens to our economy, because our economy is predicated on the dollar's reserve status. It doesn't work. If we can't run trillion-dollar-a-year trade deficits, it doesn't work. Because we don't have the factories anymore. We don't have the infrastructure, the supply chains, the trained workers. We rely on the rest of the world to produce what we can't.
Making shit.
And because we don't really have any savings, we're all in debt. We rely on the rest of the world
to pay for
save for us and lend us money.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the world doesn't do that anymore, when it's no longer willing to supply us with goods and lend us money, what do we got? How does this economy function? Because you look at who are the biggest employers in America? FedEx, UPS, Walmart, Amazon. Like, what do those companies do? They transport and sell imported goods.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when we can't afford to import the goods anymore? Well, there's nothing to drive around. There's nothing on the shelves are empty. So all those workers lose their jobs at the same time that consumers can't buy anything. We're a service sector economy, but that only works so long as we can outsource to manufacturing. Well, we can't do that if the world doesn't want our dollars anymore. The only way the world's going to trade.
He's talking about doesn't want your dollars anymore. He's talking about what that other boy said, buying your treasury bonds, your treasury bills, right? So back in the day, that's how the scam would work. Other people in other countries had America. They would, the American dream. America is the greatest. So other people would invest in America by buying treasury bonds. So I would invest maybe, depending on the yield, 10, 5 years, maximizing that yield. So I would give America $100. And then if I took a 10-year treasury bond, at the end of that 10 years, I would get maybe $1,000 back if I kept that money in there, right? But no one's willing to do that anymore. It says you're fake, you're phony. Your money's garbage. We're not going to keep investing in your T-bills. We don't believe that you can pay us back. Go ahead, Joby.
Other than paper, we'd have to have products.
Exactly.
See, the reason that countries export is to import. Your exports pay for your imports. But we're able to import without exporting because people want our dollars. Well, when they don't want our dollars anymore, then we got to make stuff. But you can't just, make stuff the way you print money. Making stuff requires real capital investment. It requires the factories and the infrastructure that we don't have anymore. We had it 100 years ago, 50 years ago. We don't have it anymore. It's gone. And it's going to take a long time to rebuild it. Now, maybe AI and robots, maybe that'll help, I don't know how, what the timeline is there, but we've got a lot of work to do. But we're in for a rude awakening because Trump has got it completely backwards. He says the world's been ripping us off. We've been ripping off the world. We've been living off the world. We've been riding on a global gravy train. They're the ones that have gotten the short end of the stick. And that's why I think that as the world dumps the dollar, there's going to be an economic boom outside the United States, because I think that we have been a burden that the global economy has been forced to bear, especially a lot of the emerging markets, the BRIC nations. They have borne a lion's share of that burden. And I think when the dollar collapses, this is going to let loose an economic boom, because what's going to happen is all of our purchasing power is transferred to other people. So all the factories that produce all the goods, they keep pumping stuff out. The difference is Americans don't get it. People in other countries get it. Their lives are now better. They have more stuff. They have greater purchasing power. And when the world stops financing our debt, they're not going to stop saving. They're just going to use their savings in their own economies. They're going to invest in expanding their own productive capacity.
They told you to take pills.
Okay, we have the third one.
So you may.
Did you see that? Yep. Yeah. Al Jazeera that we trusted for so long. Now in the hands of...
Hold on, Joey, pause it. So what you see there is, and the reporter like Joe been allowed to tell the truth, because with Black Lives Matter, most reporters, you're not allowed to tell the truth in the world, because you're giving propaganda, talking points, so you can so the system can't continue with the lies. So you had this Al Jazeera reporter got tired of just giving paper full of lies, and she just lost it and quit on air, just threw the paper. I ain't saying this shit no more. The lies. Go ahead, Joe.
The bad crooks of America, or should I say the pirates of America and the Zionist of Israel, the woman just lost it when she realized what she was reading, the news that she didn't believe in, news that her conscience doesn't allow her to follow, through the papers, and the journalist walked out. That's what's happening. Journalists are being pressured by America through Arab media to actually put out wrong, evil news about Iran, about Muslims, about this, about that, and everything. And like the Russian minister said, that, Arabs seem to fear US and Zionists a lot more than Allah. And that's what's going on with you Arabs. Habibis, you're fucked. Yeah? All of you. Al Jazeera lot, you're fucked. So you can see, even one of your own presenters decided to throw the papers and walk out. You should be ashamed of yourself, Habibi. Ashamed of yourself. What is it you say in Arab land? Do a headstand in a fucking bucket of water. Okay? But take that cloth off your head before you do a headstand.
So you may remember yesterday, 4 ambulances were destroyed, set on fire outside a Jewish hospital in London. Well, guess what? The perpetrators were IDF soldiers. That's right.
Oh my God.
They did their own shit. So the Jews.
Now the Met
this
Police.
how they did. So this ain't so you got the Jews who blew up their own ambulance trying to get sympathy. See, like I tried to tell the dumbass Kenyan about the damn embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. You fucking moron. So this is a false flag. So you had the IDF, which is the Israeli Defense Force. Israeli soldiers blew up their own hospitals and ambulances and try to blame the Iranians for doing the shit. Go ahead, Joe.
Have ruled it as accidental because the IDF soldiers said that they thought they were Palestinian owned.
Oh dear. How sad. How sad. Should have been Palestinians, isn't it? Oh,
They burn their own people up.
Honestly.
Evil motherfuckers.
And of course,
Poor
insurance
Israelis.
is not going to cover the cost.
Poor
Netanyahu
Israelis.
has had to apologize to the Jewish community in London for the disruption.
Shalom, brothers. Sorry about that. Yeah. No insurance, no MOT, no tax.
At first, Trump said that he'd.
Crazy. So the last video.
So the internet is down because for international use, you can use Iranian websites and Iranian.
So pause it, Joe. Let me say something. Now, what you see is an Iranian. You have to see he's been on most of the shows telling the truth, and so he's talking to one of the Western propagandists. This lady, and so he's saying, everything she's telling him is propaganda. So what do you think about you being a terrorist and all this other shit? And so he's striking back about all the propaganda and calling your people are controlled. Your leaders are all on the Epstein list. Oh, would you stop talking about the Epstein propaganda? Everybody know it's true, right? So go ahead. So this is how Western propaganda works. Go ahead, Joe.
Because the United States uses it to use cameras. The Israeli regime uses people's cameras to strike targets inside the country.
Exactly. Pause it. If you guys didn't know this, all your cameras on your phones are always accessed by the CIA and the Mossad. That's what he's talking about. The phone camera, when you walk around your phone, it sees everything you're doing and where you're at. You don't know it is, but it is. That's why he said Iran had to shut down the internet in their country because your phones are taking videos and pictures everywhere you go. Okay, that's a fact. You got Samsung, Apple. Isn't it funny how you got Apple product, a Samsung product, and all these other products, and they all got Israeli backdoors and spy agents in all your phones. Isn't that funny? Isn't that odd? How does this one country have spy agents in everybody's phones globally? Oh, but they don't run the world. It's the Orsini family again. Yeah. Okay. Good.
And I use because it belongs to a studio in Iran. You asked me to be on your show, and I came on your show. So it's because of aggression and murder and death and destruction that your governments bring about that this is the situation.
I mean, the death of Ali Larijani has been hailed by America and by Israel as a significant turning point in this conflict. What has your response been to that?
Well, all you have to do is go and see what people are doing on the streets.
And pause again. I want to see the mind of a psychopath lady and the killing of your lead. Just open murder of him and those girls they killed. It's nothing to them. You're talking about soulless beings, guys. America murdered these girls and your leader. What does that matter? How do you feel? Like it's nothing. Like it's like you're driving down the street picking up some goddamn ugali or something. What do you feel? Go ahead, Joe.
There are millions of people on the streets every night in Tehran and tens of millions across the country. They rally in support of the armed forces, in support of the Constitution, in support of the leader, in support of the state. And in fact, your government, and this is something that Western media has hid from the public, obviously, because they're Epstein class controlled. But during a major rally in Tehran on Friday, where people were on the streets, they fired missiles at the people. And the woman was killed.
Who fired missiles at people on the streets of Tehran?
The U.S.-Israeli jets that fired missiles, they fired it at the demonstrators. But you didn't even know this. because your media outlets won't tell you. But they fired on people. And I tweeted this. I tweeted maybe 10 different tweets. People across the world have seen it. In the West, of course, it's because you have censorship there.
People out the street supporting your government. Who's this? He's telling the truth that the people support the government. Why you say you're on the street? What are you talking about? Your people are evil. Just say crazy shit. What are you talking about? Your people on the streets. So what?
But your regimes help the U.S. bomb demonstrators.
Ali Larijani was responsible for the deaths of many thousands of people inside Iran who wanted to protest legitimately against the regime. Tens of thousands of people have been killed in the last couple of months.
See, this is the propaganda they do. They always say your people killing in your countries because the thing is they always want to come and take over your country and steal your resources. So they make up some fake false narrative. They put their Mossad CIA agents in your country and they go around killing people and saying it's your country doing it. There'll be the spies in your country killing people and saying it's you. There's many people killing in your country and they know it's the CIA and the Mossad doing it. And this lady's just a propagandist. Not the regular people doing it. It's their spies that are doing it, which he's going to point out. And this old tactic doesn't work anymore because everybody knows their playbook. Finally, that's their spies they put in the country, cause dissension and killing and shit. They say, "Oh, there's been killing in your country of innocent people." Yeah, you did that. Your people did that shit. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, but as we wind up, let me play.
America and Israel say it was right to target him because of those deaths.
Well, that's your regime propaganda. And of course, you're pro-regime.
Well, no, I'm asking
But that
you.
is
I'm asking you
Yes,
straightforward questions, and I am asking you a question which relates to the deaths of tens of thousands of protesters.
That's your propaganda.
Don't be cowardly. Let me answer. Those 3,117 people who were killed, it's your responsibility and the responsibility of your regimes. Because you sent terrorists and gave them weapons to slaughter hundreds of police officers and men and countless people on the streets in order to create armed insurrection.
What proof do you have of that? What proof do you have of that?
The proof. Mossad, in a Persian statement, said that they have people on the ground. Pompeo, in a tweet, said that Mossad is on the ground. Pompeo, in an interview on, I think, channel 13 or 15 in Israel, said the CIA is on the ground. More importantly, channel 14 in Israel, which is close to Netanyahu, said that foreign intelligence agencies brought in the weapons to kill the hundreds of police officers.
Whether or not there
But
are,
you,
whether or not
excuse me,
there are,
but your
excuse
government
me,
and
excuse
your
me,
media will not say this to the people.
whether or not,
The footage is there.
whether or not there are agents on the ground, you have no proof of anybody being armed. And further, there is significant proof that the Iranian regime was responsible for the deaths not of 3,000 people, but of tens of thousands of young people who were, in many cases, shot in the back, shot at close range. Some people were even killed inside hospitals where they had been seeking treatment. What do you say to that?
Well, you're lying, of course, and you're producing propaganda. And I think increasingly Western media is just propaganda. Tens of thousands of people. That's exactly what you and your regime have helped Israelis do in Gaza. And your drones were gathering intelligence during the whole period of the Gaza genocide. You're responsible for a Holocaust. You're partners in this Holocaust. So you need to deflect attention. You need to project on the Iranians what you actually do. But why is it if the Iranian regime, as you love to call it, and it makes you feel better, why is it that the Iranian regime has so many millions of people supporting it on the streets every day?
Are there any people? Are there any people who
under your
oppose?
missile strikes?
Are there any people who
Under your
oppose the
missile
regime?
strikes.
Are there any people who oppose the regime inside Iran?
Of course
I like
there
them too,
are, but
Michelle.
overwhelmingly people support it. And that's why you've lost this war. And that's why ultimately you're going to face the consequences, because the Strait of Hormuz is shut. And it's because of your policies and the policies of your overlords in Washington that the global economy is going to go downhill.
I like him too.
And
Pause.
Iran is
I know you're gonna get it. Pause it. I like him too, Michelle. That's why they put a hit out on him. They're trying to kill him now, but he's telling the truth. They got a hit on his head. And he told him to take it off X. That's how you know all these in cahoots. So they went to XA, take up this hit. You're talking about you got a price on this man's head for him just speaking the truth. And this what he's talking about. How's that right? See, they just struck our channel for some Rabbi Finkelstein shit we did 2 years ago. This man telling the truth, and they put a hit out on his life. We're going to kill you, you know, bastard. Shut your mouth. But that's still up on X and all these other platforms about trying to murder his ass.
Yeah, but we're gonna wrap it up there. Much love. Thank you so much to everyone who's been with us today. As we wind up, shout out to Jareki once again, who's in the building, who was saying earlier the Federal Reserve System was created by an act of Congress and signed into law by President Woodrow
Wilson.
That is in 1913, and also added that the Federal Reserve is actively researching the concept, emphasizing that CBDC,
digital currency.
not replace physical cash and existing digital money. And also says Jackie to Island, Georgia in November 1910, 6 prominent bankers and policymakers, Nelson Aldrich, and the rest, follow the names. Okay, that's what's up. And also says you see people, mainly teens and young adults, walking around constantly with the phone out. I was talking about that.
They don't know that. They don't know that the things watch. You were talking to earlier, who, Joby?
I was saying that earlier today. The Gen Zs are just always recording shit, like, you know.
They don't know that people looking through their phone.
Jarak also says the Mossad, formerly known as the Institute for Intelligence and Special Operation, is the National Intelligence Agency of Israel, says responsible for foreign intelligence gathering, covert operation, and counterterrorism. Says Sahid Mohammed Marandi, born in 1966, is an Iran-American academic, intellectual, and political analyst. He's closely linked to the Iranian government. But yes, we come to the end of today's conversation right there. Thank you so much to everyone who has been with us. That has been our time. Thank you. See you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Tomorrow I will not be having
you guys tomorrow. Yeah, we gotta take Joby's music away. She was gone for 2 days.
Yeah, but I'm back like I never left. So please keep up. Yeah, tomorrow we're gonna be on for the Africa Today show of the music. So ensure you're here by 8 p.m., 12 o'clock, whatever lunchtime, your time. So be here.
Remember, all you women with your phones in the mirror doing your thirst trap and being butt naked, people watching you.
Those are perverts. Those are perverts. Like, those are just perverts.
They can be whatever, but they're watching you. If you don't know that, you don't know your thirst trapping, your Instagram, whatever you're doing, they're watching your booty and your butt cheeks. So you need to know that.
Much love, family. Peace, and we're out. Stay safe. See you tomorrow, same time, same place.
Much love, family.